Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Students, welcome to class 9th general group. I am Ms. Saima Parvez and I am your general science teacher. Syllabus of the first term includes Introduction and Role of Science, Our Life and Chemistry, Men and Health. In unit number 1, we will cover topics meaning and concept of science, contribution of Muslim scientist, contribution of Pakistani scientist, impact of science on society and its limitations. What is science? The word science comes from a Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. It means simply, science means knowledge. It is the knowledge that makes man superior to other creatures. Adam is superior to angels due to knowledge about the nature of things which was given to him by Almighty Allah. This is why man is directed to seek knowledge from cradle to grave. Man's superiority to all creations lies in the secret of seeking knowledge in the whole of life. There are many definitions which describe a broad discipline, science. Here we have science can be described as knowledge which has been and could be obtained through observation, hypothesizing, testing, synthesizing, and drawing conclusions. It means simply, it is a study which is based on facts, not just opinions or preferences. It is logical and systematic approach to discover how things work in the universe. Its process designed to challenge ideas through researches, or it is a knowledge that attained through study or researches. Now, what is observation? It is an act of noticing something or judgment before something seen or experienced. Hypothesizing. Hypothesizing is considered as a starting point for further investigation. In scientific approach, it is called as intelligent guess, but less than an established theory. Their evidences leads to the experimentation. It is constructed before any applicable research has been done. Scientific approach of study leads towards scientific method of study. When we adopt scientific method of study, there are some steps which are necessary to be taken. Number one thing, asking a question. Which, how, when, what, why, or where. A curious mind definitely producing these questions. After the questioning, there must be a background research rather than starting from scratch and putting together a plan. For answering question, use of library, internet, other resources to help ensure that we are not repeating the mistakes which were done in the past. Hypothesis, construction of hypothesis. As I said earlier, an intelligent guess, how things work. It is an attempt to the answer with an explanation that can be tested. A good hypothesis allows to make a good prediction. Then we will see the procedure, how these hypotheses working, yes or no, means the alignment. When we are producing a hypothesis, this hypothesis leads towards experimentation, whether the prediction is accurate or not. We can repeat in this regard several times these experiments to make sure that first results were not just a coincidence. After that, analyzing of data and drawing conclusion. Analyzing of data means the comparison. Either the hypothesis after the testing or experimental stage, it is aligned with the hypothesis, means it is according to the hypothesis, or partially it is according to the hypothesis, or simply denying the hypothesis. After this, we draw a final conclusion. Then getting the conclusion, we communicate result. To complete any scientific project or plan, it is very important to discuss with others before making a final report or drawing any theory. To adopt scientific method of learning, there is a need of scientific attitude. What is a scientific attitude? A scientific attitude is an important aspect of personality of someone who wants to be successful in the field of science. There are some characteristics which define more clearly scientific attitude. Curiosity, eagerness to learn. It means that a scientist or a learner must ask questions, have inquiring mind, reads a lot, seek information and carried out experiments to satisfy his curiosity. Honesty, truthful observation means the observations are not biased. A intellectually honest scientist must keep on asking himself questions like, did I gather data exactly as I planned, or did I report all the observation exactly as I saw or measured? Open minded, willingness to accept other views. Consider several possible alternatives when investigating. Positive approach towards failure. Hardworking and persistent means confident enough and ready to defend his work if he knows that he is right. Creativity, always coming up with inventive ways to solve problem or produce new things, developing new ways to create new things. The body of scientific knowledge has continuously increased. Therefore, a need was felt by scientists to organize scientific knowledge into different disciplines or branches. There are many branches of science. I have taken few major branches of science to discuss here. Biology. It is the study of life, a study of living organisms which are made up of cell. Living organism and living creature term used for animal, plant, human and microorganism. Biology is further divided into many specialized fields that cover organisms' morphology, physiology, anatomy, behavior, their evolution, origin, and distribution. Biology further divided into different branches. The major three branches of biology are zoology. It deals especially with the animals. In this branch, it is mainly dealing with the scientific study of behavior, structure, physiology, classification, and distribution of animals. Then we have botany. It is dealing with the plants, their behavior, their physiology, their occurrence, their ecology, and the economical importance of plants. Microbiology, as the name indicates, micro means smallest, tiny creatures. It is the branch of biology, it deals with the microorganisms, and the common example are bacteria and viruses. Another important discipline is chemistry. It deals with the study of matter, which is existing as solid, liquid, or gas. Properties of these three different states of matter, changes which are involved in these forms. It also deals with the laws or principle which govern these changes. Now, students, when you look around yourself, you will see countless material like books, paper, pencil, clothes, soap, detergent, food, medicine, etc. How these all material made up of? It is simply the study of material world around ourselves. The scientists whom are engaged in chemistry studies are called chemists. Physics. It is the study of interaction of matter and energy, its properties. Its major areas include mechanics, heat, light, sound, electricity, etc. It is one of the most fundamental scientific discipline, and its main goal is to understand how the universe behaves. Astronomy. It deals with the study of heavenly bodies. It deals with the study of planet Earth and its relationship with other planets. Telescope is an invention of modern astronomy. Its object of interest include sun, moon, stars, planets, galaxies, comets, etc. It was astronomy which guided the ancient navigators and travelers to through the vast oceans and deserts of the world. Geology. It deals with the study of Earth's inner layer, its composition, and the changes which occur inside Earth due to the change of pressure, temperature, and some other factors. It is the work of the geologists who study the different ores and dig out various material from beneath the Earth's crust. Metrology. It deals with the study of weather forecasting, changing condition of weather and climate. It tells us how stormy, rainy, cloudy or dry weather is. The information about the weather is very much useful for farmers, navigators and air travelers or aviation. The branch of science tells us about the Earth's atmosphere, and the people working in meteorology are called meteorologists. Science of nutrition. It deals with the study and importance of different nutrients in our diet. Deficiency diseases caused due to the absence of essential nutrients in diet. Role of nutrients in the maintenance and balance of growth and other necessary processes vital to life. It also tells us which kind of food we may take according to our nature of work, age, and gender. This deals with the food, its constituent parts or nutrients, and the deficiency caused by the lack of some nutrients in the food. If we do not know about our food, we will be in fact starving even though we may be taking enough food stuff. The era of Islamic knowledge and wisdom. The period from 8th to 13th century is known as an era of Islamic knowledge and wisdom. During this time period, Muslim thinkers, religious scholars, and scientists contributed significantly towards various fields of science such as medicine, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, through their researches, new discoveries, and inventions. The rest of the world also benefited from the works of Muslim scientists, philosophers, mathematicians, and navigators. Here I am going to discuss some of the renowned Muslim scientists who did their outstanding work and researches in various fields of science. Ibn al-Haytham, known in West as Al-Hazan, the man who discovered how we see. He was a pioneer in many disciplines of science. He was the inventor of first camera obscura. In his book Kitab al-Manadir, he discusses about the images formed by the spherical mirror. He describes transparent, translucent, and opaque objects. He was considered as the father of modern optics. He contributed significantly towards the principles of optics. He discovered laws of reflection, refraction, etc. The most important chapter of his book is about the human eye and its various parts. He was a well-known physicist, mathematician, and an astronomist. He reasoned one had to eliminate human opinion and allow universe to speak for itself through physical experiments. Jabir ibn Hayyan, known as the father of chemistry, inventor of three commonly known acids, hydrochloric acid, HCl, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, nitric acid, HNO3, which are now considered as the backbone of organic industry. He invented aqua regia, which is a chemical which is used by the chemist to extract gold and other metals from their ores. He also introduced the distillation process used in the making of perfume, gasoline, plastic, etc. He was credited for the discovery of 19 different substances which we call elements. Ibn Sina. In the field of medicine, he is known as father of medicine. He contributed also in philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy. In his famous book Al-Qanun fil Tib, he discussed human physiology and medicine. He worked on the treatment of many contagious diseases. What are contagious diseases? The diseases which are transmitted through direct contact. He was the first Persian scientist who came up with the word arba'iniya. In Arabic, it means 40 days sanitary isolation to prevent spread of disease, which was later on in Europe popular as quarantine. Now, here it is very important to give the meaning of the word quarantine. The meaning of quarantine is a state, period, or place of isolation in which people or animals that have arrived from somewhere else or been exposed to infectious contagious diseases are placed so that to control the rate of that disease. As we all know that since the start of COVID-19 outbreak, online researches about it have been increased and quarantine considered number one recommendation, the most effective way of curing the rate of COVID-19. Mohammed bin AlKhawarizmi. He was a great mathematician. He introduced the system of writing and counting numbers. He was the one who adopted zero as a number. He also introduced trigonometry. He wrote book Al-Jabr wal-Muqabala in which he explained the linear and quadratic equations. Apart from mathematics, he was a great astronomer and geographer as well. He has corrected the old geographical map. AlBiruni, very well known for his remarkable work on astronomy. He has introduced or invented a planisphere, a star chart to check the movement of stars, to study about the stars. It was also considered as an early analog computer. He was the one who wrote that Earth rotates on its axis. He performed many experiments in the field of astronomy. He was a historian as well. He traveled a lot. He also wrote many books on custom and creeds of various nations, including India. His famous book, titled Al-Ustada, the Master. The Master, he was considered as the master of mathematics, astronomy, and physics. Now, students, I hope today's lesson is very helpful in understanding the meaning and concept of science, branches of science, and contribution of few well-known Muslim scientists. Students, now I am giving you an assignment to complete these answers in a science register. What is science? Name and define few branches of science. What is the contribution of Ibn Sina, Jabir bin Hayyan, Ibn al-Haytham? How to submit this assignment? I will share this detail later on. But remember one thing, you have to make a science register. First, make an index, then start writing about the unit. I hope this lesson is helpful for you, and if it is possible for you, you can buy the reader, General Science book for class 9th and 10th, published by Sindh Textbook Board. Students, inshallah, see you in the next lesson. Thank you. Stay blessed, you all.